Ground Zero. I think these guys can get the job done. Here we go, though. Upper bracket final. Take it away, boys.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. It's a matchup months in the making. I mean, as soon as these two teams were formed, we've wanted to see them play against each other, Jake. We finally get it. Upper bracket final, a good place for it. Power versus Ground Zero. It's the rivalry we expected to see, even if it's, 4 or 5 months late.
Yeah, and it's great to see in this upper bracket final where both these teams are expecting to be. Both of them definitely want to be on the better side of that bracket reset situation.
Yeah, I think that bracket reset is going to be key. And we were talking about it a little bit beforehand. I'm convinced we're getting a reset no matter who wins this game. We're going to be going 5 series today. But I also am going to say, hey, whoever wins this one probably is going to be the team that takes it out in the end. So very important series, very important start right now. And I'm loving that Power is continuing to play, that same sort of fearless approach that we saw against the Pioneers.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see similar from Ground Zero because it's just both these teams look their best when they're offensive, when they're aggressive, and really forcing mistakes out of their opponents.
Yeah, and we'll see how that's going to be the case right now. Ground Zero, not really typically a team that we see on the back foot too often. I believe it was you, Tins was claiming you were the one who called Ground Zero boring before. You said their playstyle was dull to watch.
Nah, that was all Tins. That was all Tins.
Okay, that was all Tins? Okay. I wanted to dive deeper into that, but if that was all Tins, then you can tell us what makes Ground Zero so exciting.
Ooh, yeah, no, I was surprised because, yeah, Ground Zero, when they first formed, were awesome. I mean, the games were all 7-goal games. They were just scoring everything. Super Lucky was looking like the best player in the region by an absolute mile. But yeah, recently for sure, I see what Tins is talking about. They've gone back to that old style that Fibers teams are always very guilty of, just sitting back, not really forcing anything, and then just hoping that a solo play will just randomly score them a goal. So they have been going back to that a bit. You can see Power aren't doing that. They're really pushing forward and trying to force these mistakes, although it's an unforced one from Amphis that almost gets punished.
Yeah, but Ground Zero is looking very disciplined right now on that back end. They haven't been making the unforced mistakes despite the pressure. Their counterattacks have been swift, and now with the demo, at Fibers touchman straight, it could have been in. Locky now had a bit more time because of the demo, I think, to go for the shot. Instead went for the dribble, so going solo doesn't work out. Pass forward, Torsos not ready for it.
And a bit uncharacteristic there. Normally, GZ have insane faith in each other's solo play abilities and the pass plays, but Kaka didn't trust that demo coming through and missed an opportunity.
I'm also seeing Power get a little bit nervy as well. Double commits on defense, that situations that don't really call for it. So maybe the pressure game is better suited for Ground Zero right now. They're putting it on here. Power slowing it down on that defensive side, so Ground Zero given time to rotate back to the middle of the pitch. Now again, Power slowing it down on that defensive side. Amphis kind of has to collect from Fever's fake, I'm going to call it. I'm going to be generous, call that a fake, but they can't go too far with it.
Now, Power's defense certainly hasn't been tested, at least not by a informed Ground Zero offense, so it'll be interesting to see if they can hold their nerve.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Hopefully they'll be able to piece it back. This looks good, though. Amphis had to put it straight, but with no power, Ground Zero able to rotate around.
I'm surprised Amphis jumped like that. Yeah, he didn't really give himself a chance to get any power. Maybe thought it was open, and maybe an overcommit, maybe not, but Super Lucky gets a goal on the breakaway.
Yeah, Super Lucky straight down the center, and Amphis usually would be good for that kind of challenge. Kind of jumped a little bit too quick, kind of outpaced himself right there, and with that, it is Ground Zero striking first, 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and great demos from them as well. Like we were saying, forcing the issue. It's not just the solo play. If a player was back there, that wouldn't have been impressive. It was the fact that the demo was there as well, clearing out the net that made that so deadly.
That said, look at this quick response from Power, denied by the post, and a little bit frustrating right there. They had their chance. Now they're going to have to go the entire pitch again. And with the way how Ground Zero's been playing the middle of the field, it's just a challenge to flip it against this blue side.
I'm worried for Power, man. They're really throwing themselves in defense and not in a very controlled way. They're getting beat a lot, and it feels like they're hanging on by a bit of a thread here.
Yeah, I mean, Fever has been patient on defense. I can't say the same about the other two right now. Granted, Fever usually is that strong player. He can take the ball off that backboard, go the distance with it, draw that pressure. One of the strengths, one of the reasons why Fever is so dangerous, but yeah, they haven't been able to kind of punish on those moments when it's there. Amphis had a chance. Ground Zero was ready for the save. Good follow-up from Fiber as well. Kaka cheated forward, but Fever, once again, back to front, drawing the pressure, doing what they do best.
Power are getting some awesome chances, though. I don't know how Ground Zero are keeping them to a clean sheet at the moment. It's really impressive. When 25 seconds remaining, they're poised to win this game, being in offense as well.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Still, Power's going to get at least one more chance right here. Fever doesn't get the reset under Fiber. Torsos now has to make something happen. Good patient defense from Ground Zero. Only Kaka commits. 7 seconds to go, and the map gets flipped one more time. In fact, Kaka, no! Posting out. That means Power still has a pulse in this first game till Super Lucky denies it. Ground Zero take game one.
Yeah, they take game one, and back and forth there. I can't believe Power were held to 0 because their offense was looking deadly, but at the end of the day, it was that one clinical goal from Super Lucky, the demos coming in to open the net. That was the difference maker.
Yeah, that was. And I mean, it wasn't as if Power was denied their chances, right? They had more shots than Ground Zero when it's all said and done. Amphis trying to be that guy, but Ground Zero really impressed with how patiently they've been playing on defense. And I know you said you're not a big fan of this style. I'm kind of growing warmer and warmer to it though, Jake, because we're seeing teams not get broken under the pressure.
I don't know. I don't think Ground Zero were playing that defensive style, though. They were getting in their face. They were outpacing Power, and I was worried for the Power defense there.
Yeah, I mean, first half of the game, they were on defense. Then second half, they were able to flip it, right? Like, I could say that, I think, fairly. But I don't know. I trust your word over mine, so I'll take it. Yeah, Power definitely did look shakier on that defensive end when put under pressure. They were the team making the double commits. They were the ones, as you called it at the end, throwing themselves at the ball. I'm just kind of comparing the two, where Ground Zero kept sending one player forward, kept playing for that 50, and then looked to collect underneath, whereas Power, 2 members diving. Uncharacteristic panic from Power, especially considering it was game one. Still time, though, to turn it back. Yeah,
maybe a bit over-aggressive from Power. But yeah, the thing to look for is, at the start of that game, they were certainly getting pressured. They were in defense, but there's not too much you can do when Power's like playing that well, and you just have to absorb that pressure. What we want to watch out for is if Ground Zero in offense, if they're just looking like it's just one player doing their thing, and then when the ball clears, it's just the one player doing their thing again. That's what we don't want to see, at least those like boring, low-scoring games. And I didn't see that. I saw Ground Zero all pushing together, playing fast, following each other's touches, and it'll be an exciting series if that continues.
You know which one player, though, I was happy with just letting them to do their thing? It's the one with the ball right there. Fever, I thought, was kind of the shining light on that Power side, particularly defensively, was the most consistent one in flipping that map. So it's good to know that Fever at least is looking in form in these early days. That's going to be a trend that's going to have to continue if Power's going to get back in this one. And I mean, you have to believe they're going to, right? A best of 7, Jimma, one of the best coaches in the region, they'll adapt and they will start to find games.
Yeah, for sure. I certainly think they'll find goals. I still can't believe they got shut out there. But, I mean, GZ have certainly, the international experience has clearly helped their defense.
That it has, and that's a promising sign to see. I mean, historically, our defenses in Oceania have not been the best. And, oh, that's an awkward miss right there. Kaka, actually, he's still looking a bit awkward. Can't really corral it, so Power kind of gets away with an unforced error. Now looking for Amphis, has Torsos underneath. No, takes it himself, but the defense was there.
Looking very sketchy for Ground Zero. I think they're very low on boost, honestly. Look, they're still so far back. Super Lucky panicking, but what gets the save?
Oh, what a stall in the air. Perfect positioning. Don't know how he read that, but again, GZ, they are poised under the pump. And if this continues, Power, they're going to have to get a little bit more dynamic with their approach.
Yeah, Power, again, I mean, it's so close. You can't blame them for continuing, but yeah, still getting shut out. Struggling, even despite Ground Zero, looking a bit shaky.
A very low-scoring series thus far. I'm a little bit surprised by that when you look at sort of, you know, the offensive firepower on each of these sides. That could change here. Amphis beats the last defender, fights Torsos, who can't get the angle to put it through. It was a tough one, but you've got to hit those when the net is there.
Yeah, and Power are going to start getting frustrated soon, especially if they get scored on here. Ground Zero looking very patient with their offense, and Power still looking a bit panicked.
Yeah, and this is looking more reminiscent to the Power that we saw in Winter Split, where they start to get frustrated, they start to overcommit, and that's when they can get punished. Speaking of which, Fiber through traffic.
Oh, beautiful pass play here. The weak clear is punished by Fiber. Fiber to super lucky, back to Fiber, I think. And oh, that is nice from Fiber, just carrying his car through that one to get the 50-50.
Halfway through game 2, and it's crazy to think that is only our second goal, but both of them have gone Ground Zero's way. The chance now for Power, though, with the unforced error from Kaka. Fever will drop it in underneath Super Lucky, and finally Power get a point.
Yeah, some question marks there for Kaka. You don't see that much anymore. Just completely unforced miss, and Fever taking a book out of Fiber, getting the 50-50 goal.
Yeah, again, not to repeat myself too much, but I've been really impressed with Fever so far this series. Kind of is becoming, you know, that guy that Power needs, I think, to stay in this series. Hopefully, for Power fans, the rest can rise to that level. Torsos, nice save. Kaka, no! Straight into Fiber, and now we're going the other way. Fortunately, Super Lucky can get it to the corner.
Yeah, somehow Super Lucky doesn't get demoed there, but what is going on with Kaka, man? This is awkward from Ground Zero.
Yeah, you know, maybe for the better that Fever gets the demo on him right there. Some chance to, like, cool down, reset your mental, get back in it. Gonna need to make a touch right now. Kaka closest to the ball. Looks to slow play it back over to Fiber, but kind of put it in an awkward place. The defense looks awkward as well, though. Eventually, Fever will get it across the middle of the field.
Both teams showing uncharacteristic mistakes. It goes to show at this highest level, they are forcing this kind of panic out of each other, but still, you don't expect it. And there's the goal. What a shot from Fiber.
Oh, I love the fake as well for the touch. Yeah, Super Lucky setting up Fiber, but then was kind of crossing underneath. You didn't really see it on the replay right there, but yeah, that was great stuff, making the defense second guess themselves. Ground Zero again up by 1.
You know, Power panicking. I was a great shot, but I'd still back Fever to save that, but just looking very awkward in net there.
Yeah, again, it was the 2v1. Had to commit to one side, not the other, so well done by Ground Zero. Awkward spot for Fever. Awkward spot for Power right now if they drop this game.
So awkward.
Everything was awkward. Awkward region, all right? And I embrace the awkwardness. That's what I say. We can do that. It's part of our charm.
Well, I think Power may want to be a bit less charming because they're struggling with not looking together. But like same with Ground Zero. It's a great chance though. Amphis connects. Just what are these goals?
Not very charming, as you said before. Very right on up there. Can woo anyone with shots like that. Amphis equalizing now 2-2.
No, that was great play from Power, to be fair. But GZ, I mean, one of them was backwards. It was a triple commit that none of them hit. It's not looking solid from either team right now.
Yeah, things are definitely getting sloppier before they're getting cleaner at this stage. Power still looking to equalize this series, however, and gonna keep that pressure on, hunting for it. Ground Zero, though, has a chance. There's the bump, but the ball, unfortunately, landing on Fiber means it comes back the other way.
Fever gets a big demo. Someone else is chasing as well, but it gets cleared out. Power almost overextended, but not quite. They keep the pressure up. Tough for Fiber. Misses the open net. Amphis is there to save the day, but still, what is going on?
They got the goal calculated. I think you can make the argument, not sure how true it is, but you can make the argument Torsos was just trying to bait Super Lucky out of the box by going for a backward pass.
No, the open net misses continue, man. What's going on here? Kaka misses as well. That is, what is going on?
All right, I'm done with game 2. Let's go to game 3. Let's let this one drop. Give these teams a chance to kind of regroup themselves. Power winning the chaotic one to equalize the series. As we said in the pre-show, Jake, it's entertainment. It's entertaining for us all.
Yeah. No, it's certainly been entertaining. Look, I'm all for missed chances, open net misses. Look, Ground Zero and Power obviously feeling left out at how enjoyable the Pioneers open net misses were, so they want to get on the score.
I don't want to go back to that moment. That was nearly a tournament-ending play, Jake. Like they took them 3 games to recover against 95X after that. Like that was a moment they had.
Yeah. No, and now, thankfully for these teams, both teams are are struggling in terms of open net scoring. We're seeing some misses here and there. It's looking awkward. Again, I think both teams are like forcing it out of each other because the speed is so high and maybe the nerves are high as well. Maybe the mentality is going to play a factor here.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think, but in reality, like these are two teams outside of scrims, and make of scrims what you will. These are two teams that aren't familiar with playing against each other. It's their first time squaring up in this type of environment. So I'm not too surprised that the play is sloppy. I'm not too surprised that both sides are really trying to push themselves to go above and beyond where they normally could be, which is what I think is leading to a lot of this sloppy play. Moving into game 3, though, the first team to calm their nerves should be the one that comes out on top. And I mean, you'd have to kind of bank on Jimma then to go back for a talk about coaching before. Maybe that becomes the factor. We'll see as game 3 gets underway.
Yeah, well, for Power, I feel like it's a team awkwardness, right? But I mean, I hate to call him out, but Kaka is just looking awkward especially last game. So I think individually on him, it'll be a big testament if he can recompose himself and be back to the solid player we know him as.
But what's an easier fix, sort of team approach, or getting an individual player kind of out of the mud, as it were?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough for both, right? Because teams have so many like moving parts you have to think about. But then as a player, everyone knows how tough it is. If you're having an off day, especially mid-series, it's hard to recompose.
Yeah, I'd almost favor the team in this instance. Ground Zero, though, in front of the net. Fiber can't get there. Torsos pushes them out of the way. Ball still in a dangerous spot, and then clears and goes the distance. No, it's off the post.
What is going on? I mean, this is not what we expect from these guys. Fiber is off the ceiling. Oh, I don't know what to expect anymore.
Do we? Are we allowed to take a timeout? on behalf of the players, like not the coach, can we take a timeout for these guys? Because yeah, it's just panic nonstop. The panic mechanics in full force, and neither team has been able to grip control.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because in my head I'm like, oh well, both teams are doing it, so it kind of equalizes, right? But the first team to compose themselves will have a massive advantage in this series.
Yeah, that they will. And I mean, again, if there's one player who's looked composed to me, it's been Fever, right? Like I'm looking towards him to be the one to make the plays. I'm looking towards Fever to be the one who steps up right now. Granted, can never count out Fiber super lucky either, so we'll see how we go. Big demo, though. Opens the door, and Amphis takes a second touch, but did get it in.
I don't know. I mean, Fever's been solid, but Amphis has been the one scoring all the goals. But at the same time, that is props to Fever. That's a great demo from him. Great awareness to push for that, and great teamwork as well for Amphis to understand that was going on.
Yeah, just a good 2v1. You get the demo, you get the goal. Nice little recovery as well. And then Amphis does that. Fever is back for the save.
Yeah. No, it can't last, at least not in this series. It can't last for anyone. Just miss after miss, and we get this.
Are we just like... Are the players still playing on the Aquadome? Is that what's going on right now? Like, what is this that is happening? Just instant panic on the defense. Can't corral it, and yeah, tie ball game.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised as well, because we were kind of mentioning earlier, this is a double elimination bracket, right? It's not all on the line for these teams.
That's it.
But they're kind of playing like it, though. Oh, what a banger.
Torsos straight down the middle. I mean, that was a strong touch from Torsos to put that in. 119 kilometers per hour. Not much super lucky could have done there.
No, I mean, it goes from Torsos like completely missing the ball to get scored on to like the perfect top corner shot with power. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore.
Yeah, well, we'll kickoff goal maybe? Nah, not quite. Kaka can't get back around it, but the threat is there. Ground Zero looking to quickly equalize, and if they shorten the pitch, if they force out the panic, you'd have to think the goal might come. Kaka versus Fever drops it back down to Fiber. Ooh. Weak touch, almost had the angle. Amphis was there.
Yeah, it's actually almost in. Amphis, a nice edge.
Oh, wow.
Own goal from Super Lucky. Oh, no.
I mean, it was a great dribble from Memphis, right? Forcing the own goal. Let's go with that. Oh, Super Lucky, not the challenge you want to make.
Yeah, but that's actually more so on Fiber, I feel like. That was a lot of panic from Fiber. But I guess he was kind of expecting Super Lucky to not own goal it into his net, which is probably fair. Either way, it's still very awkward.
You know what? I'm gonna go to your expertise then and agree. Yes, that was the own goal. It felt forced a bit.
No, that's an own goal, man. That's an impressive own goal, especially over your pre-jumping teammate. Although the pre-jump on the other side, he doesn't get it.
What?
Though.
No, Baka, no!
twelfth gets a freebie.
Oh my goodness! This game is flipped. Now it was which team would compose itself first. I think it's Power. I think it's safe to say Power has gotten more composed at this stage.
No, Ground Zero are falling apart, man. I don't know what's going on here. And Power are being very clinical at punishing every time.
Yeah, that they are. And these unforced mistakes for Ground Zero is going to have to stop. This game very much going in Power's favor right now as torsos will play it off the backboard, create the space. Fiber staying underneath it. Fever in the corner to challenge, but lets it go back to Amphis, throwing it ahead to torsos, and there's the clear.
Yeah, and there's Ground Zero sitting a bit too far back for my liking, honestly. I think they missed an opportunity there. Power were awkward. And that's what Tins is a hater of GZ for, that kind of style.
Yeah, it is, you know, that more passive approach, particularly when down by 3 goals just over a minute. You want to see them get a bit more aggressive. Speaking of getting aggressive, look at Torsos' positioning, Fiber diving save.
Yeah, no, Power are looking good now. They're looking switched on, and GZ, I think a timeout will be forced here. They need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, they're going to have to take one after this. 1 minute remaining. A goal would help, and it looked like there could have been something there, but backboard pass doesn't really connect. Fever drives it back to the other side. Ground Zero. They're sending one player forward, constantly keeping 2 back, and it makes me think they're kind of conceding and getting ready for game 4.
Yeah, no, for sure. It feels like it. They're not looking like a team who's looking to score 3 goals. I mean, it was certainly possible, but and it's strange. But we know Ground Zero have that in them, but maybe they're struggling with the honeymoon effect as well. I know we heard Super Lucky mention it at one point, I believe. They do feel like they've lost that flair they had to just score these crazy aggressive goals.
Well, I like that bump setup for Kaka. Unfortunately, too many defenders there, so clear out another Power member there to take their place. 10 seconds remaining.
No.
This game is going to go to Power. They are going to take the lead in the series as the time will tick down. A good bounce back from the team in yellow and black, and now it have to feel like all the momentum is in their favor.
Yeah, Power will be feeling great. Like, what a dominant victory. They're finally scoring the goals, which I don't know how they were getting shut out so well earlier in the series. I mean, Power looking smooth, and Ground Zero still have a lot of problems to solve with what's going on with this awkward feel we're getting from them.
Well, it was the composure. Ground Zero was composed at the start. They were playing patient defense. They were able to, not double commit. They were making the contact, and then, I don't know, a flip got switched, it feels like, back in game 2 where Power started to panic more, and Ground Zero just kind of matched that energy and never let go. And game 3 is going to be a game that Ground Zero is going to want to forget. So many misplays, several missed opportunities. Power just there to capitalize each and every time. Torsos really turning their game around there in game 3. So, yeah, momentum's in Power's favor, and ball's back in Ground Zero's court.
Yeah, no, Ground Zero have a lot to figure out. Something's going off with the rotations. Maybe Fiber's playing a bit too aggressively, because Fiber's looking so smooth in offense. He's playing with all the confidence in the world, but sometimes that can detriment your teammates.
Yeah, and especially from Fiber, it's a little bit unusual too, because Fiber's usually that third member, right? Likes to be the third man, kind of has been their MO throughout the past, and I've never seen Fiber this far forward. So a different approach against Power than what would be standard for Ground Zero. Doesn't work out game 3. Good thing about a best of 7, it's not quite match point yet, so Ground Zero still has time to turn it around. But if Power gets a win here, Jake, this is where things get very dire, because a 3-1 advantage, that typically goes to the team who gets the 3.
And no timeout called for Ground Zero. Maybe with a coach, they'd have the discipline. We kind of saw the same thing from Pioneers. No timeout. They've made it work, though, but I think against Power, it's going to be a bit tougher.
Well, Fever, a little bit awkward launch right there. We'll leave it for Amphis, who misses, but so too does Super Lucky. And normally he makes those.
No, that was just surprising respect there for Super Lucky. You could see he wasn't truly committed to that double touch, expecting Power to make those touches, those defensive reads. There's a banger, but Torsos back in time.
Yeah, that was a nutty pinch right there, but Torsos sitting in that third member role makes the save. Now Power, they're trying to 50 their way across the middle of the pitch, eventually get given some space. Fever follows it up with a shot and goal hesitation from Fiber.
And where was GZ? I mean, this was slow from Torsos. Fiber, super awkward turning. No one back in net. The awkwardness, it's continuing. It's not looking good.
And Fiber normally would be, making those challenges work, making those saves. That was very unusual from the players, so... Yeah, more signs that maybe confidence a bit shaken on Ground Zero. Not seeing that decisive decision making that gets them their win. Super Lucky doesn't get the touch, and Fever recovers.
Yeah, Super Lucky struggling to cause too many problems there. He's back in defense. That's a solid clear to Power. Still looking like the better team right now.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, it's easy to look better when you have the lead. It's easy to look better when your opponents are swinging and missing more often than hitting, but across the middle of the pitch comes Torsos looking for Amphis. They can't connect.
Yeah, look how aggressive Torsos is. No boost, no worries. This is awkward now. Super Lucky gets the big clear. That's great from them. Plenty of time. Fever actually super awkward, but everyone's backwards. Yeah, what's going on with GZ?
I don't know what just happened with Amphis right there. Feels backflip, gave up possession. Now here comes Fiber. Amphis does recover in time to make that save, but a little bit awkward mechanically from the Power side. Almost gave Ground Zero a chance. Eventually, it will be Fever trying to create space. Amphis back in the goal. Fever still goes up, looking for the double. Fiber drops it down for Kaka. Amphis patient defense.
And that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Kaka was pushing forward. He was aggressive. Power up to that one, but even with the best defense, here's a great double touch. Fiber just goes for the shot. It's just over though.
And Kaka committed all the way to the back of the net, so it's a 1v2, and it's gonna go Power's way. 2-0 lead.
Oh, Amphis is so good at these. There's nothing Super Lucky can do here. He goes for the early challenge, which is probably the best play, but he still gets demoed in midair.
Yeah, and that was set up again. Kaka committing, and just unfortunately the ball got pushed to the side and was never gonna rotate back in time after how hard Ground Zero pulled the trigger. So I like the aggression. I like Ground Zero trying to, really take the fight back to Power, but sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, it certainly backfired there. I liked what I was seeing. It was more aggressive, but certainly overdid it a bit. Still feeling awkward no matter what GZ try.
Yeah, it is. It's just been an awkward series for the Ground Zero team, and I mean, how great would this be for Power if they can continue this form and continue this play all the way through? This is a team that's been looking for so long to bounce back and prove what they can do. And we're seeing it more and more right here, forcing the mistakes, capitalizing each and every time. Power,
what a clear.
They're on a bit of a warpath, and Ground Zero has yet to slow them down.
Yeah, these are some sketchy touches. Amphis gets the mid-air bump. Actually saves the day with that one. GZ looking to pounce, though. This is looking better, more aggressive. Power, great scramble defense.
Yeah, I mean, it looked better because the shots were coming through, but it was still kind of telegraphed, and Power was still able to play it patiently and get themselves set up in a formation that's really easy to flip the map and still keep their rotations. So really liking what Power's doing. This pass play, had potential to be the 1-2-3. Kaka back to run disruption, but even then, 1.5 minutes to go, still no goal for Ground Zero. The woes continuing for the blue side.
Yeah, no, I mean, 2 goals is going to get tougher and tougher as this clock ticks out, especially if Amphis gets a third. Amphis is on fire with the solo plays today.
And yeah, but this is the form that we saw Amphis in earlier in the tournament as well. Amphis just stepping up when the team needs it. Great individual effort, and with a 3-0 lead with the form of Ground Zero, I'm thinking it's going to be match point.
Yeah, no, Ground Zero in shambles here. I mean, Power are just flexing all over them. Looking so strong. Ground Zero, I think we need to see the timeout. They just need to recompose. But again, even with the timeout, it's so tough to do it mid-series.
Yeah, doing a timeout, when it's match point, needing to win 3 in a row, I feel like it's when you drop 2 is when you take it. Either way, Super Lucky does get one in. So this game might not be over yet.
Very important goal. Power dropping the ball there. Everyone doing their best GZ impression, honestly, from this series. They were struggling. And GZ, we'll see. Can they capitalize now? 2 goals, 1 minute? Absolutely possible.
Hey, well, need I remind you, call it a GZ impression, but need I remind you, Power was doing it first today, but they were able to recover. And so you could argue it's a return to proper form from Power. I don't know. I don't think they want to call it that. They want to call it, a mistake, a hiccup on their road to the grand final. Another shot from Fever. Good save by Fiber.
Return to proper form. They're so toxic. No, I think Power. I don't think Power are going to be too rattled by that. They certainly feel like they have composed themselves. That just seemed like a one-off. Probably the double commit threw everyone off, and you can see they're already looking a lot more solid. Although Torsos setting up Super Lucky beautifully, but
oh no! Oh no! No, that doesn't go in, Jake. That doesn't go in.
I know. I mean, nothing going right here for GZ. Right as I was saying, Power have recomposed themselves. Torsos starts playing for the other team, but it doesn't matter. Time runs out, but maybe some good signs for GZ. Power certainly not looking as composed as they are at their best in this series. Still, GZ need to figure out what's going on their end.
When you can't score in a 4v2, you gotta call the timeout. You gotta do it. No excuses now not to do it. You got to call that timeout. But again, remember though, Kaka back, with the old lineups that he was back on the minions, right? It was known for never calling timeout. That's just not what he does. So don't be surprised if they keep it rolling.
Yeah, but again, if there's any time, like, I can understand, like, maybe if you're feeling good as a team and they've been close back and forth matches, sure, don't take the time out. But something is wrong here for Ground Zero and they've got to figure it out. And it's so tough to do that mid-series. You need every help you can get.
We will see how they approach it. I mean, Fiber's taking their time to ready up, so I feel like the team is taking a bit of their time right now to talk things over. Down to 3-1. And I mean, between Super Lucky and Fiber, those two can talk. Those two can hype up the team. I know I've been calling for a coach, but there's a reason why they've had their successes. So I feel like they're taking a little time to get themselves back in that mindset. I'm not writing Ground Zero off yet, but they need to look so much better than what they have over the past couple games.
Yeah, it's sad to watch because we know how much better is in them, right? And we know that we're not seeing the best out of them. We've seen Power stepping up more and more, showing, again, what they're made of after that disappointing split. And now it's Ground Zero's turn to not really show up when it matters.
Yeah, we'll see how they piece it together as Amphis doesn't really go too far with it. So Kaka will instead try to take it across that middle, able to bump Torsos, now looking to escort it down. No one back to follow it up. Kind of lackadaisical approach when it's all said and done, and Power's able to push it out.
Yeah, let's see the adjustments GZ are going to make. They're already looking a lot more confident. Super Lucky actually committed to that backboard, which is a great change, but we'll have to see Power looking equally solid in defense.
Yeah, we'll see what they can bring it out. You know what? Something that we didn't take into consideration, Jake? Maybe Ground Zero, maybe they're just not morning people.
That's actually so true. I mean, yeah, these guys are not used to playing at this time. Power have got the mentality coach in Jimmer, making sure they wake up on time. They're prepared. That could honestly be a big factor here.
Needed to get Ground Zero some coffee and maybe they'll light it up a bit more. I mean, look, so far this game, it's been a little bit slower paced than the past couple, but I think that's doing Ground Zero some favors. As soon as I say that, though, then the pinches come out, then the tempo increases. Here comes Fever looking for it. Couldn't quite get that tough angle.
Yeah, no, Power are looking scary. They're kind of hanging a player forward, ready for those redirects. Ground Zero have been able to match it for now, but Amphis almost with a beautiful goal. It's saved by Super Lucky, though.
Yeah, that said, and more cheeky touches, more bump attempts, Power throwing everything at this, and Ground Zero playing the patient game, what saw their success in game one, helped them for a brief moment, and then Fiber clears out Torsos' shot.
Yeah, the clutch defense is back for Ground Zero, but this Power offense isn't stopping. They're looking so confident. They're in the flow. They're playing aggressively. It's getting a bit awkward now, though, but Super Lucky, unfortunate touch back.
And we'll see as Torsos keeps it moving forward as well. Ball getting jammed once again. That looked like a clean pass to the middle of the pitch, but no one there. Means Ground Zero takes it in their favor. Super Lucky's touch almost again breaks the traffic, but not quite on target. Power survives.
Power survives. Look, GZ, they're pushing forward now. They're connecting with each other, although a pass to no one. Maybe going to the other extreme, passing a little too much.
Well, here comes Fever. This could have been dangerous. Instead,
Look
Kaka,
open.
green field in front of them. It's gonna go in, and Ground Zero take their first lead since the start of the day.
And this aggressive style from Power, hanging players forward. It didn't even take half of the match for it to punish them, and they're giving Ground Zero a window back in here.
Yeah, Ground Zero very happy with that. I mean, very fortunate for Kaka. Ball just kind of fell right into their lap, so good stuff from them. As Fever now takes it back the other way.
Nice
Amphis.
defense.
Oh, it's always scary, though, when you see a pass forward. Amphis lurking on the backboard. Best in the region at those shots.
Yeah, oh, that's a risky pass. Already had one player cheating forward. Again, it feels like Power have maybe over-adjusted here. Things were going very well. They've got a dance course off. Very uncharacteristic to miss that.
I was ready to call it double touch equal game, but instead it's a swing and a miss, and now double committing off the ceiling. Power. They're getting a little bit sloppy, and it doesn't really call for it just yet. They do have 3 games to put this one away. As the ball continues to bounce around middle of the pitch, Torsos now with space to work with. Tried to go to Amphis, but Fiber was just sitting and waiting.
Maybe this is the scrim power we've heard so much about, how they've struggled to translate this style onto game day, and you can probably see why. It's pretty reckless, honestly. They're pushing players super far forward. Look how awkward it's made Fever here. I'm not sure I like it.
Well, you don't like the pre-jump before the attacker touches the ball?
I mean, it worked out though, let's be honest.
Yeah, it did. He got the save. I think that's perfectly reasonable when you make it work. Kaka, nice fake. Gets underneath, gets the goal as well. 2-0 for GZ.
Yeah, panic now on Power's side. I mean, well played from Kaka to notice the fakes would work, but still, you'd expect Power to stop a dribble like that.
You would. They got faked out, Jake. I don't know what else to tell. On a normal day, you would. In this series, I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah, and now we have a fake kickoff that works out perfectly. Amphis gets a nice air dribble back. Look how awkward everyone is. They get demoed as well. Power setting up this offense, but it looks like Ground Zero have composed themselves.
Yeah, everyone on Power was looking for bumps and demo straight away. They're definitely upping that physicality, and now Amphis with space to cook is gonna deliver 2-1.
Oh, what a goal. Amphis so quick here. Touches to himself. Super Lucky looks like tried to get a touch on it, not quite. Everyone disrespecting Amphis in the air, man. He's too quick.
I mean, he's been doing this all series long, though, Jake, and almost all tournament long. Amphis still with something to prove. Giving Power a chance to end this one in 5. Now has another opportunity. Torsos, no! Torsos again. Oh, that one is one that they're going to want back, and now... Well, back to racing on defense is Power, at least in the middle of the field. Fever's touch. It was accurate. Gets the double commit. Can Power punish? No, not quite. Lucky recovers.
30 seconds left. This game's going to haunt Torsos if he can't redeem himself here. They have the pressure, but Ground Zero looking more confident. That's a great clear from Super Lucky.
Demo. But it doesn't go in. Amphis recovers. 18 seconds and GZ committed 2. But doesn't matter. No, Fiber misses the first, gets the second, and that should do it for Ground Zero.
I mean, our open net miss streak continues. Fiber completely scuffs that one, but fortunately gets a nice bounce there. Has probably sealed it for his team, but Power have these creative kickoffs.
Yeah, that they do. 14 seconds, 2 goals though, Jake. Well, they got one. They got one right quick. So, yeah, let's hold our breath some more.
Don't be a doubter, man. Power are good at these, and
what's Super Lucky doing?
What an insanely risky kickoff from GZ. I don't know.
All right, well, here we go again. 10 seconds, 1 goal. I guess it's doable. Torsos is going to get the chance. Here comes Kaka, though, screaming for it. Missed it. Torsos underneath. No, can't get it past Lucky.
Oh, he's getting another chance, though. Fever middle. Kaka, he's there, though. And Amphis can't keep it up. It's a sketchy end for Ground Zero, but they get an important game. They stay alive here in the upper bracket.
Look, I try not to be biased. Sometimes it shines through a little bit. I'm happy Ground Zero won that game because we get to continue to watch the madness that is this series, Jake. I don't want this series to end. I want this to go on forever. Is the play clean? No. But we're getting great individual effort. We're getting fantastic moments. I am loving this.
Is the gameplay good? No. Is this the best OC has to offer? sadly.
No, I'm saying no to that. These are some of the best teams we have to offer, but they're not at their peak form. They're still having their morning coffee, all right?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, we're still seeing sparks of brilliance from both teams. We know they have the solidness in them. And again, I think both teams just respect each other so much that we're getting these mistakes you don't normally see.
Yeah, you have to kind of call it what it is. It is an abnormal series right now. And for the first time of what is probably going to be many with this format of these two coming together. In fact, we could see them a couple more times today if things kind of play out as expected. It's the warm-up series, Jake. It's you know, it's the warm-up. It's like game one is the warm-up game. This is the warm-up series.
Yeah, they have an entire series to get warmed up. The benefit of getting to this upper bracket final, but again, that bracket reset, you want to be on the good side of that, and the stakes are high here. Also guaranteeing yourself top 2 with the points meaning more in this final split. It's a very important series.
And these are the two teams that are fighting right now for that second world spot. And that's something we didn't really talk about on the pre-show, but big implications on the line for who does well. And Amphis, we've been, kind of joking about some of the plays we've seen. Amphis has become that consistent player. Before it was Fever, now it's been Amphis. Amphis is looking so strong.
I mean, it was always Amphis. What are you talking about? You've been saying Fever, but I've been on the Amphis train before we got a Little Miss follow the trend here.
You know what? Well, I've become a believer then, okay? I have been converted. I buy train tickets all the time. You know that. I jump from line to line depending on which one is hot. And well, right now, Amphis is the one who has been the hottest on the pitch. That said, here comes Kaka looking to play off the backboard and couldn't quite get it to drop down where they'd like. Fiber now looking for Super Lucky. There's the pass. There's the shot. Fever denies the goal.
I tell you what, though, Kaka's got his confidence back. He's not looking awkward anymore, and that's what we need to see from this GZ roster, honestly, to be at their best.
Yeah, it started to come back last game when they got a couple of those early goals, but now Amphis, no!
Oh, that would have been beautiful.
How does that not go in? I've never seen the ball roll like that down the post. A second chance for Amphis. This time it's posting through. 1-0 lead for Power.
As if Amphis gets post double out and then decides, yeah, you know what? I'm still going to shoot for that kind of shot and gets the post double in this time. Very fortunate from him, but wow, Amphis is bopping off here.
The fact that they got two opportunities like that back-to-back as well just shows how confident Power is when pressing forward, when trying to set up those plays. Ground Zero, again, they're the team behind. Match point against them. They're the one who need to win this to go to Champions Field. First, you got to equalize. Double reset for Locky. Not quite. Amphis denies.
Yeah, there's some panic, though. Fever double committed. Recovered so well, though. Always so solid at that. Amphis being a nuisance from in front of the ball. It's what he used to be so great at. You can see it's a revitalized Amphis after disappointing with the split.
Yeah, it has been, and it's been that all event long. Amphis putting forward an MVP performance right now, this time with the pass across the Torsos. Fiber waiting back, will collect off that backboard. Not sure where they go with it next. Instead, it's going to be over the middle. Kaka denied by Amphis once again.
Dangerous.
Such a pest. Even got the bump as well for Fever, who does not get the goal.
No, but look how sat back GZ are now. They're all scrambling for boost. It's actually all on Super Lucky here, but Fiber, super quick recovery after the boost.
Super quick, and with that pressure kind of alleviated right now. Ground Zero will get another chance to equalize as Fiber wanted to throw it down to Kaka, but Kaka was looking for bumps. A bit of a miscommunication means a loss of possession.
Yeah, no, everyone in two minds. Super Lucky misses the challenge there. Everyone's awkward. Power pressing forward. Fever gets the flip. It stays safely in the corner for now, though.
Yeah, but for how long? I mean, Amphis has already banged it out. Yeah, Fever coming from the middle of the pitch, kind of stalking the shot. Now commits. Kaka was there. That forces Super Lucky again versus Fever. Torsos now follows it through. Fiber tries to deny the pass, but Power just not giving up any space right now.
No, not giving any chances either. They're defending through their offensive pressure here, although what a clear. Kaka can't catch up to it, though.
Now back down again. Fiber waiting. Nope. Torsos goes over the top. Another pass across where Fever will collect, and now we're starting to see briefly wider spacing for Power. They immediately collapse in on themselves, though, as soon as they're aware. They want to keep things nice and snug, but maybe it will punish them. Super Lucky had a chance. Ball winds up in Fiber's possession. There's the shot. Angle too tight.
Yeah, too tight there. Ground Zero are pressing forward though, keeping this pressure, but Power starting to look relaxed. They're in defense, they're not worried, and you can see it's just one player messing with the ball. It's not going to phase Power.
Oh,
But GZ need to start linking up
pass.
here. There's a good pass. Amphis asleep in defense. Fiverr gets the goal.
yeah, but you can see right there, it was that challenge from Kaka kind of denying the pinch, and all of a sudden, all the time in the world to set this one up. It still was a tricky play, yet Ground Zero capitalized. Tie ball game, minute 12. Champions Field now looking more and more looming for Power.
Yeah, no, GZ were a bit too relaxed there in offense, but then they stepped it up, brought their teammates together, and that's the change they needed. Power on the back foot now, certainly looking more panicked, and GZ with a spark in their style now. They're looking confident.
Torsos will lead the charge back the other way. Fiber denies it off that backboard. Still Amphis playing that middle of the field, slowly drawing it forward, even in reverse, trying to get all the pressure they can. Feels like a silver goal situation. Next goal could be the one that takes it, as Power are hunting first.
Yeah, although GZ are getting these clears out. Although not looking as dangerous as you'd normally expect from them. Fiverr just loosely air dribbling, but Power are forced to use a lot of boost here. Look, Amphis is starting to look awkward, but he gets a nice wall clear.
He gets the clear off for now. Neither team has had the striking chance yet, and with 18 seconds left, might not see it in regulation. Could be the Game 6 OT, unless something crazy happens in our dying moments.
Yeah, we'll see. 8 seconds remaining. GZ look like they're going to get the final chance. Super lucky. Can't get it past Amphis though. Big clear to the other side. Power, drop it to the ground. We have overtime.
Here we go, though. Power's kickoffs have been something unique. Do they get something special for the Game 6 OT? Doesn't look like it. More conservative approach from each side. Fever now with control, looking for Amphis. Kaka disrupts. Ball gets centered. Torsos only one up for it. Two defenders back. Locky misses, but Kaka makes the save underneath.
And now this counterattack's dangerous. And
Kaka!
messes it up. Amphis isn't back in time, and Kaka sends us to Champions Field.
Trojan horse fake, Jake. It's the Trojan horse fake. You make the whiff, you make it look open, but then all of a sudden, you look the gift horse in the mouth, and it's countered right back in your face. Ground Zero, fantastic recovery, and guess what? We're going to Game 7.
They recompose themselves without a timeout. How are these players doing it? They take it to Game 7, and I think Power are going to be a bit worried because they've been playing well. They haven't been looking too awkward, and yet they haven't been able to win either of the last 2 games.
I mean, you said it yourself in the pre-show. It's just the players. It's the players over the coaching. That's what's happened. This series definitely has felt, players over coaching in several key moments in this one. And to Champions Field, I guess Ground Zero has the momentum. I feel like Power played a better game, though. Like, I actually like Power's approach a lot more for a majority of that when they just didn't get the overtime goal.
Yeah, they also, I don't know, they didn't actually create as many chances despite feeling in control of that game. You're right, it did feel like Power was the better team, but at the end of the day, you have to score and convert those chances.
Also, the reason why we're having a longer break, a timeout was called by Power. So Power taking their timeout for that Game 7 timeout buff, and that is something that has been real. So we will see how Power regroup in this one. We are going to Champions Field, Jake, for the first time tonight, and kind of been waiting for this. You said it at the start. The results have been boring so far. Well, this series has been anything but.
Yeah, no, this is an exciting one. Again, the ultimate results have been boring. Let's be honest. Yeah. But we've had plenty of Game 5s. This is our first Game 7. So it's been tight series, which is always great to watch.
Yeah, it has been. And hopefully this one will deliver. So often we see these Game 7s just kind of like fizzle out and, maybe not live up to the hype. But I don't feel that's going to be the case. I feel like this series has been chaotic enough already that there's no way Champions Field doesn't give us that absolute banger of a finale. Again, what is at stake? Well, the advantage in the grand final between 2 teams fighting for that second world spot. So important for these guys to get to that major, to send themselves to Boston. This could be that first step, guaranteeing a top 2. Here we go, Jake. 5 minutes to settle. Who goes to that grand final?
And I have no idea who to call here. I mean, Power have been looking better. GZ have just won 2 in a row, though. And it's all going to come down to who can compose themselves the best in this final game.
Here we are underway. I want to see good goals. I want to see both these teams calm their nerves. That's all signs so far kind of point against it. I should be on Amphis, though. You said Amphis has been the calmest one on the pitch. I'm looking at Amphis to make that first play. Didn't have to because Kaka missed the ball.
No, Amphis has looked like a beast in offense, but last game he was making some big defensive mistakes, though. And then we also saw Fever, normally rock solid in defense, getting outplayed in the 1v1 by Kaka. There's a great flip reset pass to Fever. He's got the defense.
Got the defense for now. Fiber with a chance, flicks it up. Amphis is already there for the save. Ground Zero attackers bumping into each other underneath, yet Amphis couldn't really go fast, but it still gets the second touch. Fiber underneath barely comes through.
Yeah, GZ looking awkward. None of them have boost, it looks like. Kaka sits on it for long enough. And very fortunately, has enough to get this breakaway now. This is both ends of the pitch.
Yeah, we are going back to front, back to front. All 3 Power members, though, hesitant to increase the tempo. They're all staying back, and with that bump, Lockie just misses the dunk.
Yeah, very close to 15 that in. Torsos has an open net. He's so slow, though. What's going on? He doesn't get it. Fiber gets back in time.
Fiber's been getting a few of those clutch saves, but I have to agree, a little bit quicker. It's a 1-0 game. Now Super Lucky with a chance. Torsos and Amphis to beat. Amphis able to get there initially. Torsos, again, just kind of holds it in place for Amphis to follow forward. Kaka, those midfield challenges have been good, but not this time. Torsos with the bump help gets the goal.
He doesn't make the same mistake here. Torsos is quick to score this one, and what a bump from Amphis. The shot was a bit slow, and that worked out perfectly in their favor.
So Power strike first in the pivotal Game 7. Round 0, they've had a few comebacks already. Will they be able to find one again? This kickoff actually looks quite good. Super Lucky with space to work. Gets the bump on Amphis, who recovered. Somehow caught underneath it after being bumped. Well done.
Yeah, well done from them. GZ, they're going to have to push forward now. They need a goal. And Power, you can see they're not slowing down. They're pushing forward. Amphis gets the touch with the back of his car. Looking dangerous, but not scoring just yet.
Oh, another dangerous touch, this time from Fever. Amphis already there to challenge. Ground Zero cannot afford to slow the ball down on defense because Power all over them like a pack of wolves, looking for that kill, looking to go to that grand final where they believe they belong. They've got half a game to hold it. A second goal would do them wonders. Maybe nice Fever has Amphis here. Shot goes wide.
Yeah, no, mispositioned Amphis in the midfield. Fever looking dangerous, though. He's got a chance here. This is a solo play, but Kaka on the backboard ready.
Yeah, Fiber was underneath as well. That's why you saw them go to the backboard. Now Fiber finally clears the map, and that was a minute of Power attack that Ground Zero held on, keeping them in this game, but their attack is short-lived. Already we're back on the blue side.
Yeah, although Amphis jumps, misses out, but
Fiber's third. This is dangerous. This is good. Go in. Torsos, go! How do you miss that one?
Torsos in another pivotal moment misses the open net. I don't know what's going on with his striking today. It's not the Torsos we normally know, but still they have the lead. They may get away with that, but if they don't win this series, these open net misses are going to haunt Torsos.
Oh, well, I mean, fortunately for Power, they have the lead and only 100 seconds left before they're through. But with that demo, it could have been open, but Fiber following through makes an awkward touch and Ground Zero missed their chance.
Yeah, Torsos sends it back to the other end. GZ, you're right, their chances are few and far between. They have to be clinical when they find them. Here's a good chance for Fiber. He gets the touch over. Fever's awkward, but gets the touch.
And now Torsos can take it back the other way, down to Amphis, and this one goes in. It's a 2-point lead in Power's favor.
Oh, it's tragic for Ground Zero. That touch looks so awkward for Fever, but he had that the whole way. You can see Power knew. So quick on that counterattack. Brutally punished, and Ground Zero, the pressure is on.
2 goals, a minute 18. Not impossible, but very unlikely, especially if that kickoff found its way in. Fiber barely back to make that save, but Power already challenging in that upper quadrant, already looking to try and pin them down. Amphis actually kind of stuck in no man's land, so we'll have to rotate back. It's Fever alone on the backboard. They get the clearing touch. Amphis stayed forward, and we're back on the blue side.
Yeah, back on the blue side, not where GZ want to be. They're trying to get it out, but it's all a little bit too slow. Power looking in control, and the clock is on their side. 45 seconds remaining. GZ need a goal. They need it quick. Kaka's going to get a good chance here, but
Down to Locky.
The defense was almost there. Super Locky straight to him. He keeps them in it.
They needed to be quick to catch them on that back rotation, and quick they were. Torsos tried to slow it down, but it just winds up falling right in Locky's lap. 40 seconds left, one goal between these two. What does Ground Zero have to get them in that grand final?
And they stepped up. Super Locky, super clinical in those dying moments. Kaka with a beautiful air dribble, but 35 seconds remaining. The pressure's on. Power have got into a defensive stance. We'll see if GZ can capitalize.
Great 50 by Torsos, though. Gives them so much space, helps them buy so much time, but no one from Power crosses that midfield line. GZ reestablished themselves, but Fiber lets it get away. Awkward pass down, yet Amphis loses the challenge. Where's Ground Zero? They're all sitting back. 10 seconds to go.
10 seconds. Torsos keeps pressure. He's just going to keep this simple, although doesn't win the 50. Amphis, beautifully done. Fever, he's got an open net here. He misses, but it doesn't matter. Power win the series in Game 7.
Don't need to hit every open net. In fact, sometimes you don't need to hit any of them, but Power got the one that counted. Amphis's goal was the difference, and they hold on the late flurry from Ground Zero. Power advances back to a grand final. It's been too long, Jake, since we've seen them there.
Wow, what a series. Back and forth. Power looking in control, but struggling to finish it. Even right at the end, keeping it so close. That was an exciting one.
That was a series of Rocket League, I think is what people would say when looking back at it. They'll be like, yes, Rocket League was played on this day. I'm happy that was the first series. I'm happy we got the jitters out of the way. We got the nervy play out of the way. By the time we hit Game 7, they were a bit calmer, I feel. And maybe that's a little bit of hopium for these sides. But should they rematch, I feel like we would see a cleaner sort of grand final matchup.
Yeah, we're going to get a 14-game grand final, aren't we? I mean, these teams look very evenly matched. Hopefully Pioneers or Him Police can really step up to this level and make that lower bracket run.
Yeah, people have been sleeping on the Him Police, haven't they? Like, we were doing it a bit on that pre-show. I think they're going to have a chance. They're going to be playing the Pioneers, as well as an interview with Fever when we come back. So stick around. More of Final Sunday when we return.